Welcome to this video series where we are looking at the CAT or Computer Applications Technology Prac exam for grade 12 from 2023. This is not the November paper. We have another playlist for that. This is the June supplementary exam. So let's get into question 4, which is the final Excel question of this question paper. So just a reminder that if you look in the video description, you'll find a link to the data files. I would suggest that you go practice this question before you continue watching this video so that you can see how much you know, and then come back to the video so that you can see where you've made your mistakes and where you got things right. So let's look at this question. We're looking at 4 accommodation spreadsheet, which I've got opened up already over here. And the spreadsheet contains the following symbols to indicate the facility. So there is a pet symbol and a gym and a swimming pool, Wi-Fi and a spa. So we probably need to take note of that when we look at our spreadsheet. Let's work in the accommodation worksheet. So make sure that when you open up your spreadsheet that you are working in the correct worksheet. So we're looking over there. So they've put those symbols there. So when they refer to gym, we are referring to that column. So just take note of that. So we might have to come back here so that we know which one we're referring to. 4.1, change the cells A2 to M2 and its contents to display like this. So we want to change that text A2 to M2. So A2 to M2, so there's A2 to M2. It's already merged, but we want Cape Town to be on a brand new tab. So at the moment you can see that it's not together. So let's click on wrap text, which is there. And you can see that it puts it together. We might have to have put a enter there after accommodation, but it did it for us correctly there. So that's fine. And then we want these borders over here. We want top and bottom borders that look like this funny style. So let's go check out the borders. So over here is the borders. We're going to come over here to more border options. And I think we want something that looks similar to this over here. Some sort of broken border style. I think that's closest, and we only want the top and we only want the bottom. So I've done top and bottom and click OK. And if we click away, there we go. We can see that our borders look very similar to what we want over there. So there we go. I think that is correct. Let's do 4.2. Insert a function in C4. Determine how many places do not allow pets. So let's go in C4. There we go. How many do not allow pets? So how do we know if they allow pets? Well, there's no no's there. If they allow pets, it's a yes. But if they don't, then it would be blank. So we want to count how many blanks there are in this pets column. So let's go equals count blank. And we are counting all the cells in this column H from 10 all the way down to 70. And then we can close our brackets and press enter. So there are 30 of the accommodations listed that do not allow pets. Let's move on to 4.3. The distance from the airport to a place of accommodation is displayed as follows. The 6 shortest distances is short. The distances between the 6 shortest distances and 100 kilometers is a medium, and the distances greater than 100 kilometers is long. Insert a nested if in cell F10 to display the distance of the boutique, hotel, and the guest house. So F10 is where we're going to. So F10 is over there, and we need to determine if it's long or not. So what are we looking at? We are looking, if the distance is greater than 100 kilometers, then it's long. If the distance is between the 6 shortest distances and 100 kilometers, then it's a medium. Okay, so this is a bit tricky because we need to work out the 6th shortest distance. So how do we work out what are the 6 shortest distances? So there's the distance from the airport. So let me write that down. So if it's 100 or more, I'm just writing this over here so that we can see. Then we're going to say the word long, which you can see over there, distance, it's 100 or more. If it is the 6th shortest distance, so one of the 6 shortest, then it's going to be short. So we find out what the 6th shortest one is, and any one that's less than that would obviously be short. And then anything in between is medium. So that medium one is a very difficult one to calculate. So I'll always say, work out the 2 easy ones, and whatever's left over will be the medium one. So let's start with that. Let's go, okay. So if the distance is greater than 100 kilometers. Do we say include if it's greater than 100? So it's not including 100. So that's why it's not greater than equal. If it's greater than 100, then we're going to display the text long. And if we don't, then we need to do something other. So I'm just putting other like that for now. So at least we got it working for that. That's correct. But now we need to work out the distance of the 6 shortest ones. So the shortest one would be the minimum distance, and then small 2 would be the second, and small 3. So if I want to find, I'm going to use this block over here, equals small of all these distances, and I'm going to go comma 6. So 35 is the 6th shortest distance. So if it is less than equal to 35, then it's one of the 6 shortest, so therefore it must be short. So for this other part here, we are now going to insert another if statement. I'm going to put an if statement here. So if the distance is less than equal to this short distance, then it's going to be short. And if it's neither short nor long, then it must be medium. And close bracket for the inside if, and then we have a close bracket for the outside if. So let's think about this. So if the number is greater than 100, we say long. If it's not that, then there's two possibilities, either short or medium. So that's why we put another if statement. If that distance is less than equal to our shortest distance, which is 35, so it could be 35, it could be 30, it could be 28 or 29. If it's one of those 6 short ones, then we're going to say the word short. And then if it's neither of those, then we can say medium, because that's the one that's tricky to calculate. If it's greater than the shortest one and less than 100, that's quite tricky. So that's why I always do the middle one as my leftover one. Always work out the 2 easy ones, and then whatever's left over is that. So let's press enter. So that works. Now if I copy this down, I don't think it's going to work 100%, because if I copy it down, this is the problem. So if I copy there, if I click here, you see it's referring to that as the 6 shortest distances. So that's why that's not correct. So actually over here, when we say it must be less than the shortest distance, we need to actually put that in $signs, so that when we drag it down, it always refers to that block as the shortest ones. Let's drag it down. There we go. They don't seem to have changed. So I think that is correct. So that was a lot easier that we used the building blocks. If I didn't use the building blocks, then you could use that small, and we could then go and replace that O10 as the small of E10 to E70, but because we're copying it down, we don't want that to change. So we should probably put dollars around that if you want to do it all in one go. But using the building blocks is a lot easier, but that's what I would do. So there we go. It doesn't change. So that was quite tricky. So look at it. If E10 is greater than 100, we say long. If it's less than the 6th smallest one, then it's short. Otherwise, it's medium. That's quite a complicated one just for that question. So it required a lot of thinking, but we got there. So that's challenging 7 marks, but we got there. Let's move on to 4.4. Use an AND function in G10. So let's go to G10. There's G10. To return true if the price per room is less than 1,000 and the place has a pool. So there are 2 criteria. The price is less than 1,000, not including 1,000, and the place has a pool. So there are 2 criteria. So when we put an AND here, then we've got 2 questions we can ask. Remember, questions are, is something equal to something, is something less than? If the price, no, there's the price per room. There we go. There's the price per room. If the price per room is less than 1,000, so we're going to say the first condition is if this block, just C10, so okay, we should actually put an equal to sign in front of that, and equals if this block is less than 1,000. That is my first question. Is that less than 1,000? And if the room has a pool, or the place has a pool. How do we know if they've got a pool? Well, the pool will be yes, so that block there would be yes. So L10 is equal to the text yes, which we put in double quotes. So those are my 2 conditions. If the blue block is less than 1,000, and if the red block is a yes, if they're both true, then the whole thing is true. And it will say true for that, because that is true. And they only wanted me to do that for that block G10, but you could copy it down and it would work for all of them. So for example, this one, it does have a pool, but it's not less than 1,000. So if I drag that down, you would see that it would say false. But this one is true because it's less than 1,000 and it has a true. So if I drag that down further, that would be true. So it is working. 4.5. During the off-peak season, places of accommodation give a 12.5 discount on the price per room. Insert a formula in M13. So let's go to M13. There we go. We're going to insert a formula to calculate the price of accommodation during the off-peak season after the discount has been given. So they get 12.5% discount. Format the amount to display the same format as the rest of the columns. Let's go. So they get 12% off the price of the room. So it equals to the price of the room for this one only, because we're only dealing with row 13. So we take the price of the room and we're going to subtract 12.5%. How do I make 12.5 into a percent? You divide it by 100. 12% of the room's price. So we're going to multiply that by the room's price. So take 12.5% of the room's price and we minus that from the original price of the room. So we'll get that amount there. You could have also, just mathematically, if you think 12.5%, that means you're only paying 87.5%. You could have also done, and I'll show you here on the side, you could have said it equals to 87.5%. So you divide that by 100 times it by the price of the room and you would get the exact same amount. Or you could have just done 0.875. That would have also worked. but we want that to look the same as that. So we're going to first of all copy the format, and then I'm going to put it over there so it's exactly the same format. And so there you can see it is the same format as the rest of the cells in the column. So we went and copied the format because I think it's a custom one. If I drag it down, we want to see that those values don't change. If I drag it down, did any of them change? No, there we know that our formula is correct. Let's move on to question 4.6. In this one, we need to work in the 4.6 worksheet. So let's go to the 4.6 worksheet. And they want us to create a column chart that looks like this. This is the last question. There's 6 marks. So let's have a look. We're going to create a column chart using the series A1 to B6 to display the total number of reviews. We want a couple of things. We want a heading like that. We want the format there. We want the titles at the bottom. And we want to change what that one looks like. And we want this line over here, which looks like a trend line. Okay, so we want a couple of things. So let's go try it out. So the first thing we want to do is create a column chart. So that's the easy bit. So let's select the data, even the headings, because if I select the headings, it might actually add the details there. So let's select the headings, and we're going to insert a column chart. So there are the column charts. So we're going to select basic column chart. So let's go select column chart like that. So there is our column chart. We've got a start. So we've got everything in the right order. So we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. The heading is all correct, so that's fine. So we want to change this one to look something like that. Do they say anything? Oh, the hotels bar has a paper bag texture fill. So let's come here. We're going to click on them, and you'll notice that there are bubbles around all of them, which is not what we want. We want just this one. So I click on it again. Now we are just dealing with hotels. Now I can right click on it and format this data point. And we want to format its fill. So I'm going to click over here. The fill must be a picture. And we want what type of picture? So there's a couple of textures here. A brown paper bag. So that's wood. This is not there. There's the paper bag one. So I'm going to click on the paper bag option, and there we go. So that's already looking a lot better. So that's another thing that is done. That's great. Now let's look over here. Do you see the units? Goes from 0 to 9,000. Ours goes from 0 to 80,000. So that's wrong. What is different? Well, the gap between them looks like it's 15,000 is the gap between them. Mine is 20. So let's click over here. And we've now got the access options. And now we don't want to change its fill. We want to actually change the access options. So I'm going to click over there. We want the units, the major units between them, not to be 10,000. Let's change it to 15 and see if that changes that top one. If I click like that, that's a little bit better. You see that? So it goes 15, 30, 45, 15, 30, 45. There we go. That's much better. I'm happy with that. That's our third thing that we've done. Then we can see over here, do you see there's no lines at the back? So I want to remove these grid lines. So I'm going to click on these grid lines at the back, these lines over here. So we've got grid lines, and I'm going to actually, when we click on the plus sign, maybe we can remove them here. So we've got grid lines. I'm going to say, no, we don't want the grid lines. So deselect them. So there we go. They're gone. So we've got no grid lines. I think that's the fourth thing. And then we want this line over here. So the only thing that's missing is this line, which I think is going to be 2 marks. So this tends to be what we call a trend line. So let's go see. If we click on here, so that's a trend line. So I think actually we could have done it over here. There's trend line. I think it would have been here as well. There's trend line as well. So let's go trend line, and let's go see what options we have, because then we can see. Okay, so let's have a look. It's got an automatic one, and it just goes straight down. I don't think that's what we want. So let's look at the data. So what data do we have? So we've got a linear one. Let's see which one it is. It's not exponential, it's not logarithmic, it's not polynomial, not power. Ooh, there we go. That looks much better because it doesn't include the first one. And that's exactly, oh, there we go. You see, it's exactly how we want it. So it's a moving average one. Did they mention anything about moving average? No. So we had to try that out ourselves. So by trying all these, we can see we found one. And then if you noticed over here, I think it's all correct, but there's an arrow at the end. So if we, I think I saw arrows if we went back here. So the arrows, begin arrow type and the end arrow type. Let's see, at the moment there's no. So if I put that at the end, ooh, there's my arrow. If I click away, there we go. Is that the arrow that they want? There we go. I think that's perfect. I think it looks pretty close. I think that's all the marks. So let's just double check 6 marks. So we did the chart for 1, we did the paper bag for 2, we did the axis for 3, we removed the grid lines for 4, we put a trend line in for 5, and we put a little arrow mark on the last one. I think that's all of the 6 marks. And I think that's the end of the question. There we go. All the Excel questions done. So there we go. We are done with the Excel question. We're now going to move on to the axis question in video number 5, and let's go try that out. Do us all a favor and click on that subscribe button. Go to our other YouTube channel at Mr. Long Computer Terms. Go click on that subscribe button, as well as on TikTok at Mr. Long Education, and follow us there. And share us with your friends so we can help them as well. And remember, don't do it the long way, do it the Mr. Long way.